Hello everyone. For the first time, this is a video that I didn't want to make, but at the same time I did want to make. I wanted to let you know some things that we've been dealing with, and being that I see you as my faithful viewers as almost an extension of my family, the guys had the right to know as well. Normally I write scripts for my videos so I can keep my mind on track, otherwise I wander. But with this one I'm not, so this is going to be unedited. But at the beginning of this month, our dog Jethro, his full name is Leroy Jethro Gibbs Miller, yes, after the NCIS character. He could like to call himself Roo Roo, so that's frequently what you heard us call him. He was a West Highland White Terrier, and like I said, beginning of this month, he started getting sick to where he had diarrhea real bad, and we took him to the vets, and they didn't know what was going on with him, and so they gave us 3 types of medicine to help him, but none of it worked. So last week we were actually feeling his neck, and he was having problems with his lymph nodes. They were swollen up pretty bad. And Monday, August 29th, I believe, I called the vets, even though we don't have money right now. And I told them what the problem was. And I had to leave a message since they weren't in the office. So, August 30th, we went into the vets, and he was acting fine, typical Roo Roo. And they did blood work on him, and she come back and said all his levels were through the roof. She also came back and told us that it was one of 2 things. It was either he had a punctured stomach, which would have been the better of the 2 newses, or he had cancer. So she said the only way we'd be able to find out is with an x-ray. But it was going to take 2 hours to get the x-ray done because she was so backed up. So, not wanting to give up any hope, we said, yeah, we'll do the x-ray, because we have to know. And we went home and waited. 2 hours later, they called, and they told us that he, in fact, had more problems than they thought. That he had all his lymph nodes swollen. In fact, the lymph nodes in his body were swollen as well, to where it was pressing on his heart and lungs, and his liver was enlarged. And they told us that we had 2 options, and the 2 options were to put him down now, or they could give him an IV drip for 2 days. We could bring him home, and they'd put him on a stronger dose of the medicine that didn't work to begin with, hoping it would, as they put it, make things a little more comfortable for him. But chances are within a week we'd be taking him in to get put down. Well, both me and my wife couldn't bear the thought of sitting there watching him go. And so we decided that on August 30th that we'd put him down. Excuse me. We got to go in an hour later and say our goodbyes, and they gave him to us afterwards. And oddly enough, he just turned 7 last month. Well, I called my parents in between all this, and at first, when we didn't know what it was, I told them that if the worst happens, if we could bury him with Sammy, because Sammy's on their property. And they said, of course. Well, after we got the news, I had to call them up again and said they needed to start working on the grave. So after we got him from the vet, we took him to get buried. So he's buried by his brother. I know that might seem odd, a cat and a dog, but they were together before Sammy passed, and Jethro actually helped me when Sammy passed. And so it was kind of nice. But today's been easier than it was yesterday. For the most part, we've been fine. I mean, we have our moments. I have had to go through and get all his stuff together. We like to make a little bag with all his toys. He was buried with 3 of his toys. But I figured I would let you guys know this. And Chewy and Gidget, that's our other 2. You know Chewy. You probably haven't heard me talk to Gidget. Gidget seems fine. Chewy knows there's something wrong, so he's a little bit down, but that's normal. So at this moment, I'm going to probably continue with showing pictures and a video of him. And I'm at this point. I spoke to my dad and I told him, I said, I'm not going to monetize it. But he actually came up with an idea with it, and I actually like it. And I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, because I don't like to make a profit, because I'm not planning on making a profit. He mentioned that I should monetize it, just for the fact that any money that we get, we could put towards a proper stone for him. Sammy has one, but I don't know if I'm going to do that just yet. But like I said, I want to let you guys know this and take a step outside of what my normal is. And I'm sorry to give you this news as much as I was to hear it. So with that, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.